The world of AI is advancing so quickly, and today it's going to be a two-part series. So the first one is going to be about AI text to image, and I'm going to let you in on some really easy to use AI tools to create some base images for social media, stock, films, or just for fun. Many of these tools only take a few minutes to actually get going, and some of them even a few seconds. So let's get straight into it. Alright, so the first tool up is Ideogram, and we're going to take this from simplest and easiest to use to a little bit more fine-grained control over your outputs and images. So first up, Ideogram, as you can see, creates some cool images with some slogans and logos. So log in if you haven't already, and really simple to use. So describe what you want to see, and ultimately choose your aspect ratio, and you can ultimately choose what you want to try and do. So if we wanted to do typography, poster, we can type in over here Shaolin monk holding a poster with hello man. And what it'll do is it'll create 4 images for you to have a look at over here. Alright, so as you can see, it's starting to generate and render. Alright, so as you can see here, definitely hit the brief. So let's just click on this first one over here, and you can now ultimately download this. You can remix it to try and get a bit more images or different types of wording. And that's the first one, really simple to use. And again, the sky's the limit. Your imagination is the limit of what text you want to see and what you want to basically include in the outputs. So that's the first one. Alright, the next tool up on our AI text to images is Midjourney. This offers a little bit more fine-grained control of your images and your outputs, offering things like weighting, chaos, weird, and ultimately defining a bit more sort of granularity in your AI images. So if you haven't already, sign up to Midjourney. It does cost a small amount of money per month for a subscription fee. So what you can do is just sign in, and it'll bring you to the app. And the way that Midjourney works is you work through Discord. So you basically sign up into your Discord server, and it will basically add an AI bot to your Discord channel. So now what does that mean? It just means that you basically type in your text. It will then pass it through to your image creation tool in the background. All right, so very simple to use. So you type in /imagine, and then you type in your particular prompt. So we could start off with something as simple as saying a camera. You can add in your resolution. You can add in your details that you would like. For more prompting and for more options on what to do to make your prompts look really good and your images really good, have a look at one of my other videos. All right, and then hit the enter key, and as you can see, very simple to do. Type in what you're looking for. You want a cinematic landscape with a scene of a mountain using a specific type of camera. And again, you're able to add a lot more depth and element to it. You can add weightings to it now as well. So all really powerful stuff. Okay, so very similar to the previous tools, where it creates 4 images. You're now free to select which one resonates with you the most. As you can see, it's photorealistic quality here. Again, look at my other videos for some options. Now to export and to download one of these images, you work in quadrants. So quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. I quite like quadrant 4, so you click on upscale quadrant 4. It'll then pass that image back for you to have a look at in a bit more detail. To download the image, you click on web, and it'll ask you to download Now there's a couple more features in Midjourney, which I've got other videos on, but you can start zooming out, so you can start basically zooming in, zooming out. You can vary the region, so if you wanted to add a bird or a dinosaur or anything like that into this particular image, the options are there. If you wanted to pan left, right, up or down to add some more expansive scenes to it, you would basically click on these buttons over here. So again, Midjourney is starting to create a bit more sort of adding a bit more control and complexity into your image generation. Alright, so the next one up is Leonardo.ai. So if you haven't already, log in and sign up. You do get a number of free credits. And so once you've logged into Leonardo, you would notice that you've got a number of free credits available, which will allow you to create some images off the bat. You've basically got some models that you can use. So basically you can choose on photorealistic, dream shaper, and these are basically all models in the background that use a training set to try and recreate images in that type of model or in that type of style. So as you can see here, you can now start getting a bit more fine-tuned granularity. A lot of this is based off the stable diffusion models. So again, starting to add more complexity into the way your AI images are created. So let's click on AI image generation, and you can basically start typing in your prompt that you would like to create over here. All right, so we can say, all right. So what we do is obviously just pop in the prompt that you want to create over here, and you're able to start adding weights and ultimately fine-tuning these items over here. So if you wanted to add weights and extra items and emphasize certain things, you would basically start encapsulating them. It's out of the scope of this video to give you the information. But basically what you would do is start playing around with weighting and ultimately adding extra pieces to your prompts. All right, adding a negative prompt is also one option that you can do. All right, so if you don't want to see certain things in your scene, you'd say, for example, you don't want to see clouds, so no clouds, or no mangled hands or figures. So you can basically start building up what you want to see versus what you don't want to see. And there's ultimately a number of negative prompts that you can try and find online, as well as looking at one of my other videos to get a sample of some negative prompts. And as you can see over here, I've created a couple of images. And yeah, you hit the generate button and it will ultimately work its magic. You can here choose the different type of model that you want. So if you want absolute reality, stable diff models, 3D animation. So again, you've got more fine-tuned granularity of what type of image you would like to see. All right, so dream shape is quite a popular one. Absolute reality is also quite a popular one. And all you do is you hit the generate button. So what you can see over here is obviously the image that it's created. So we've emphasized water. So we're basically having a girl walking across the water. So as you can see, pretty fast work of what we asked it to do. A little bit of tweaking, a little bit of sort of work behind the scenes to try and get that image perfect. But again, pretty solid product this to give you even more fine granularity. Right, the next tool is Stable Diffusion. This one's obviously the one that's got the most power, the most customizable models, the most advanced features of all the AI text tools. This requires a little bit of installation, maintenance of your solution, and ultimately requires a little bit of knowledge around how to use Colab or to use Python to get the most out of it. Nothing too difficult, but again, if you don't have hardware or if you don't have the servers to run the imaging, you can use Google Colab or you can use a local version. So the reason that I showed you the first three was because you didn't need any significant hardware. Stable Diffusion starts needing hardware and potentially paid models to get your information and your text images going. All right, so let's do a quick demo here. So this is the Colab version of Stable Diffusion 2.1. There are a number of other ones. And I won't go through the installation. That's in one of my other videos, which you can connect to and have a look. Alright, so once you've got Stable Diffusion up and running, whichever method you're using, the interface is going to look similar to this. You get the automatic 4-1s, or the Gradio version, which I've got on Google Colab over here. So very simple. Enter your prompt. You can put in a negative prompt, number of images you want to create, and steps, height, width, etc. So it works based on 512 to 512. But you can have a play around with these things over here. And we can also pop in a negative prompt. So negative prompts in Stable Diffusion are almost mandatory, or else you're going to get some really funky images coming out. Alright, so what you do now is you click on the generate button. What it'll do now is obviously in the background pass it through. So this is a free way to get Stable Diffusion running. Again, it does offer you quite a lot of granularity, but there's a lot of information out there that'll help you optimize your prompts. Alright, so as you can see here, it's now created an image, and you can see that it's not centered, so you'd have to start making some more adjustments, saying, alright, let's pop in the centering, full body, etc, etc. So again, really powerful stuff, but this is probably the more advanced way of doing any of your text to image generation.